Hi fire signs, and welcome back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber, and welcome to my channel if you've never met me. Unfortunately today you won't see my pretty face, but I have a tarot reading for you. So this tarot reading is dedicated to the fire signs. If you don't know what a fire sign is, that is Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. I'm not theming this one. I will be doing so in the future, doing love readings, career readings, all of that, and doing those areas separately. But today I'm doing a general reading. So how a general reading looks is that I genuinely just pull 6 cards, because the 6 card spread is quite a cute spread. To be quite honest, it has enough detail, and I'm not trying for this to be too long. And whatever messages come up for the fire signs come up for the fire signs. As a disclaimer, first let's speak about sound disclaimers. My neighbor has chickens and dogs, so you might hear that. I have no control over it. um and yeah, I think that's the only noise factor I have today. What else did I need to tell you before we start? Oh yes, with the general reading, I just pull 6 cards and we see what the universe wants the fire signs to hear today. Also, another disclaimer, this doesn't have to resonate with you. It's genuinely, sometimes when I'm doing a general reading for even one sign, let's say I'm doing a general reading for Sagittarians, it won't relate to every single Sagittarius in the world, but it will relate to maybe the people who needed to hear it. So if by any chance something that I say does not resonate with you, trust and believe I don't need you to be in my comments and telling me that it doesn't resonate with you, because that means it wasn't your message. Also, do not try and fit it into your scenario and make it make sense. So if I say you have a friend who's betraying you, um don't now go and think that now you have to go actually find someone who's betraying you. The message might not be for you, it might be for a specific group, it might be for a specific person. I'm led by the universe, I'm led by my guides, and sometimes the message is not for you, sometimes it is. So take what resonates and leave the rest. So let's get started. I'm not editing this video at all. I'm literally posting it as is because it's just too much effort to try and edit a tarot reading. Anyway, the storyline. Should we start with the storyline or what the different cards are? So the spread, I'm hoping it's on focus. I think it is. This spread consists of the Devil card, the Temperance, the Four of Cups, the High Priestess, the Judgment card, and the Ace of Cups. What's most interesting to me about this spread is how much major cards there are and how many minor cards there are. And if you don't read tarot or have any understanding of tarot, that means absolutely nothing to you, and it really doesn't matter. But it's just an interesting, really intense reading. But there's a storyline to it. I think it would be more beneficial since, in some way or form, I do want to educate, inverted commas, so that if anyone else is interested in learning tarot, they can at least learn something as they listen to their own tarot reading. So let's just go through all 6 of the cards and what they actually mean. The Devil card is usually representing some sort of addiction. What's next? Should we go left to right? The next card, the Temperance card. The Temperance card is always speaking about balance, patience, and things of that nature. What's next? The Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is usually being distracted, withdrawn, etc. The High Priestess, love that card to bits. Creativity, expression, all of that good stuff. Did I miss anything? The Judgment card. The Judgment card, in this thing, I don't really, in this thing, I need to really, top up my English bundles, because I need to stop really speaking and saying thingamabobbies and things like that, because it will prove the fact that I have the intellect of a peanut. But forgive me. The last card that we're going to kind of define, inverted commas, is the Judgment card. That speaks about, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's reflection, or sometimes evaluation, something of that nature. I can't speak today. So the storyline that I'm picking up from this spread, this is is generally a general reading. It's not speaking about a specific area. So I think you need to take it and apply it to whatever area of your life that this relates to. But it's speaking about a past, present, and future placement. Past being in a really bad place, whatever that would be, being in a bad place financially, being in a place bad, being in a bad place financially, being in a bad place emotionally, being in a bad place academically, career, not having a job, relationship, love, whatever it is that you were in a bad place in. But it's not anything minor. It is something that genuinely kept you up at night or gave you so much anxiety. It's something that you, by now, if this message is for you, you would be able to identify what is this bad thing, or these a sequence of bad things that have happened to you or have gone wrong or been stagnant for a while. So let's use the example of not having a job and not having an income. So that bad place for you would be exactly that. You didn't have a job for a year or so, or a couple of years, or whatever amount of months or years. And that meant that you also didn't have an income. And at some point, now we're speaking about present, um, these things changed up for you, whatever it was. If it was a relationship, you got into a better one. If it was finances, you got a job and now your finances are better. If it's emotional, you were in some sort of depressive state or in a really bad season just with your mental health, and now you're feeling a bit better. Whatever it is, however it applies to you, take it that way. From there, you now the present placement, or at least just the recent past, you were in a better place. You were a bit more happy. If it was a thing about your emotion, your mental health, you were doing a bit better. You were keeping afloat. If it was financial, you were probably getting a bit of money. You got a bag, or whatever the case is. If it's career, it means that you got a job at some point. Whatever this thing, or things, sometimes maybe it would relate to more than one thing for other people, started going well, right? But now you find yourself, even though even though you're not at the place that you were before, you're finding yourself in a place currently where you're constantly stressed, constantly worrying, constantly scared, constantly just constantly not doing well. And the issue here is that this thing that has happened, you getting a job, you making an income, it hasn't stopped. But you have anxiety towards, like, you have anxiety of the unknown, a fear of the unknown, that will I keep this job? Will I be retrenched? Will this place that I'm in with my mental health, now that it's better, stay this way? Will this relationship that I'm in that is better and I'm being treated better than I ever have been, will this person switch up on me? So you have this really, really intense fear of losing control. Now, the devil card being here makes me think that it's not just a little thought that you're having of, oh my gosh, will I make money tomorrow? It's literally something that is eating at you. You're addicted to trying to make whatever this thing is work. If it's school, academics, you're constantly trying to find things to do, you're constantly trying to study or whatnot. Sometimes you even can't, because you think yourself into such a bad place that it's debilitating. You can't even move, you can't even get out of bed. But this thing is literally worrying you to no return, and you're losing control, but you're seeking control. But it's interesting to me. This spread is quite interesting to me, because the only kind of advice or guidance in this situation, we're not getting anything that's saying, don't worry, the universe has your back. We're getting warnings, in a sense. The Temperance card and the High Priestess both being here, I feel like is telling us about the balance of you're overworking yourself trying to keep this thing that you have or you had or whatever, or this progress that you're making. So you're addicted to it, devil card. And this means with this addiction, that's all you think about, that's all you do, that's all you think of, that's all you speak about, that's all you plan for. And both of these cards, high priestess and the temperance card, number one, balance, number two, I guess intuition, like in the sense that just let it go, and do the things that you're doing in, what's the word that I'm looking for, intuitively. If today you're led to do this, do that, and leave the rest to the universe. The amount of anxiety that you have over this thing is actually, it's going to get out of hand, and I really don't have to even shuffle the cards, they're right there to tell you that the Tower card would probably come up, because the amount of pressure that you're putting on yourself currently is not healthy, and you're putting pressure on yourself to do well for yourself first and foremost. Yes, and I commend you for that. You want to do well for yourself, you want to achieve certain things for yourself, but there's also an element of wanting to prove that you're intelligent, or prove that you can do things, maybe to your family members, or maybe you feel like you're delayed in the sense that your peers are further from you. They have cars, they have houses, they have children. Here you are still trying to finish your degree, whatever the thing is. But there are both internal factors that are putting pressure on you and external pressures on you. And the problem with that is that it will result in you being stuck and stagnant again, because your anxiety is going to get to a point where you just cannot take it anymore. You can't, you'll find yourself laying in bed, not being able to wake up, doing anything, not working out if that's the goal, not eating right if that's the goal, not studying if that's the goal, not making money if that's the goal, because you're tired. You're emotionally drained, even when you're not physically doing any work or physically working towards this goal. You are doing this very, very painful thing to yourself where you're constantly overworking your mind. And this has also made your reflection, the judgment card, of yourself completely inaccurate. You gauging your progress is completely off, genuinely. Like you're not seeing yourself, because you're trying to keep control, or you're not surrendering to the fact that, okay, I'm doing the work and I'm going to let the rest happen the way it's supposed to happen. So with that, you're not seeing yourself, you're not seeing your progress, you're not seeing that actually you're not doing too well, because you're too worried about everything else. You're worried about the fact that this might happen. What ifs? The what ifs are going to kill you. Honestly, at this point, you're contemplating way too much. So you're ruining it. And I can make examples in almost every area. With love, if you're in a relationship with someone who's treating you well, you're literally robbing yourself of the experience of good love if you are constantly thinking, what if they wake up tomorrow and not want me? Be happy today. Whatever happens tomorrow, we'll heal and deal with it tomorrow. Same with career. What if they retrench me? I understand we're in a pandemic and there's a lot of stress factors, and I'm not gaslighting the fact that people need to be anxious about certain things. It's natural. But I think it's best that for your own mental health, that you don't scare yourself. Loving yourself means that you do not scare yourself. This is exactly why when bad things happen to people, we do not go to, not bad things. Yeah, let's say bad things happen to people, bad things happen in general. We avoid going and telling our loved ones sometimes bad news, because we don't want to hurt them, we don't want to scare them, we don't want to worry them. But here you are claiming that you love yourself, but daily you're putting these thoughts into your mind, and you have such negative self-talk, and you claim to love yourself. I love that. That's so, like, wow, what a contradiction. But either way, you definitely need to work on that Four of Cups being here. You need to work on, honestly, first and foremost, fixing the whole judgment card situation, and actually congratulating your little wins and your big wins. And also the High Priestess, just trusting in the fact that you have the wisdom to complete the task. So if it's academics, just depend on the fact that, or at least find solace in the fact that it's happened before. I've studied for a test and I've passed it. It's happened before. I've studied for an exam and passed it. So it can happen again. Money, same thing. I've made money before. I can make it again. People have made money before, and I'm sure I am not the exception. Career, yes, there's a shortage of jobs, but at some point I will get a job, whatever it is. But I think it's very important. The biggest message, or the loudest message coming in for the fire signs, is to relax. Relax and just focus on today. Like, stop overthinking everything. Just relax, celebrate the things that you've done thus far, and you'll be good. So until next time, I'm hoping next week or something I will do something, some sort of Twitter poll asking how many times a month you guys want these kind of readings, and what kind. Maybe next time I'll do love or career or something else. I'll make a poll on both Instagram and Twitter. So follow me. I'll probably have my, no, I won't probably, I will have my handle and everything in the description box. And follow me, like, share, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for the continuous support. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's been nagging me for tarot readings, tarot reading videos rather. Yeah, and to book a personal reading, you can either DM me on any of my social media or email me. All of that information will be in the description box, and I'll send you my price list. I do both tarot readings and astrology readings, which are like birth chart readings and forecast and etc. Or you can just go onto my Twitter. My pinned tweet has my service list, so you'll know exactly what I offer, and you'll DM me or email me if you're interested. Till next time, which I don't know when that will be. See you, and thank you so much, guys, for watching.